today what we're going to do is we're going to do a lesson that's going to build on something that we did already. So we've talked about physical characteristics of plants, and we talked about physical characteristics of animals. So what we're going to do today is we're going to move on, and now we're going to talk more about the behavioral characteristics of animals. This particular lesson draws from the life systems curriculum, and I incorporate the expectations that revolve around physical and behavioral characteristics of animals in both the grade 1 and 2 curriculum strand for life systems, and draw that into my teaching of an introduction of pitch in the music curriculum. What we're doing right now is we're talking about animal communication. So we're linking this to animal behavior, and the students are taking time to role play to really get into thinking about how animals behave. Excellent. I think expanding the curriculum into the arts sort of realm, specifically drama, it can be a very useful way of getting them to really, understand a concept or to help them really relate to it. And with the role play is an easy way to put into curriculum everywhere. They love to do it, and they have a great time taking on different roles. And they do have a fairly easy time, interpreting that and using it to really sort of accentuate what we're doing in the other curriculum areas.
I like to act like an animal because I just like to make lots of noise. Mom says I talk too much.
Okay. All right, guys, have a seat. Nice and still. And what I want you to do is you can close your eyes and listen to this wolf call. And as you're listening to it, I want you to imagine you're out in the woods and you're hearing this. It could be a full moon. It could be singing to the moon. And while you're listening to this, think about maybe why that wolf might be calling that way. Okay? All right, here we go.
Oh, I know why.
How does that wolf sound?
Sad.
Sad. How else does he sound?
Scared.
Scared? I have been part of the oral language process. I have actually been in the program since its first year. Well, the really good thing about it is it has helped me to focus on how I teach, how much teacher talk I do, how much time I give students to respond to questions, and focusing on being a guide, not a teacher. Getting those kids to express their own ideas and talk amongst themselves and make that the focus for learning instead of, talking at them all day. It's making a long, slow call. Or maybe is it because it's a low sound or maybe a high sound? What about it makes it sound lonely?
High.
Is it high? Yeah. The people that recorded this were people that go out and they study wolf behavior. And one of the things they study are the calls of the wolf. So this scientist recorded that call, and they think that this is what they say, that it's a lonesome wolf.
My favorite part of the lesson is when you're learning about high and low. And we got to listen to all the animal noises.
In music today, we are going to start something new. We're going to talk about pitch. So we've talked about beat and rhythm and dynamics. And we're going to move on now so that we can work towards reading music and learning how to play an instrument. That'll be fun. The lesson begins with a discussion about pitch, what they think pitch is. So I'm trying to gauge their prior knowledge before I step in. If they have a lot of prior knowledge about pitch, then there's no point in spending a lot of time, going over it and rehashing it for them. Can anybody give me an idea of what pitch is? What do you think pitch is? Yes, Mac.
High or low?
High or low what?
High or low. Like,
Oh, that's a good example. Any other ideas of what a pitch is? What's a pitch? You know?
Notes?
Notes? Oh, notes, sure. Okay, notes. High or low? Yes, Autumn? Anything else to add?
Pitch is how high or low you play an instrument or how high or low you sing.
Ooh, excellent idea. Very, very good. So we define pitch. We experiment with high and low pitches, just using our voices. So if a high pitch is high. So I'm going to use my hands to show you a high pitch. Maybe we'll go like this, and that'll be a high pitch. Okay? If I'm down like this, what do you think that's going to be? A low pitch. What's this going to be? A medium pitch. Very good. Let's give it a try. So take a nice deep breath, and let's try a low pitch. Low. Very good. Let's try a high pitch. Yeah, that's a nice high pitch. I believe that I keep my students engaged by making things very hands-on, very experiential, and changing it up fairly often. So I don't spend 20 minutes on any one activity, or try not to. I try to switch it up fairly quickly. I also have a high number of behavioral students. So having that active engagement all the time is very important. So incorporating music into the other curriculum areas is a great way to do that, because it is active. You're not standing there and it's not teacher talk. It's usually you're introducing something and getting them to practice it. So, as well as drama and dance and visual arts. What we're gonna do now is we're gonna take that crazy high and low sounds and we're gonna put it onto the dry erase board. We're gonna take sound and we're gonna write it down. And if we do that, then if I wanted to, somebody else could come and read my sound and they could understand it and they could sing it too. Okay, are you ready, guys? I'm gonna draw a line and we're gonna sing the line. So I'm gonna start up here and I'm gonna go. All right, do you think we can sing this?
Yeah.
All right, let's start up here. We're gonna start high or low?
Hi.
High, ready? Oh, good job. Excellent. Let's try another one. In this lesson, I hope that the students will use the critical analysis process. It will enable the students to develop, share, and justify their own point of view about the work that we will be listening to. In this case in particular, we're not listening to a performance or another artist. We'll be listening in particular to owls and what they perform. So I want them to be able to develop their own ideas. I want them to be able to justify why they think that. They need to be able to talk about what they're thinking and share what they're thinking with the other students in the class. So we're gonna start on your page from the left-hand side of the page, just like when you're writing words. And try and follow along on the call. They'll go by a little bit fast, but that's okay. Just do your best. Is everybody ready? Ready. All right, we'll start with the first owl. With the high number of Aboriginal students in my classroom, I do try to focus my lessons around things that they will be able to relate better to. And for here, anyways, these children spend a lot of time in the forest, in the bush. And they really relate well to that. And they can understand a connectedness with nature. It seems to help them with these more abstract concepts, like music or drama or dance. If they can put it into a context that they're familiar with, then they tend to retain things a little bit better, have a better understanding of them. So that's why I've chosen the owls. And for the science curriculum, we do study, you have to study local habitats. That's part of the curriculum documents. But for them, whenever we're doing something that just talks about a general, like biodiversity or something along that lines, then I try to relate it always to animals that are from our area and things that they are familiar with. All right, guys, eyes up here. Now, The last part of this is to compose your very own pitch line. And what I want you to do is you're gonna get a piece of paper back again, and you can make any kind of pattern that you want. Just remember to follow these really simple rules. So the first one is start at the left-hand side of your paper. Okay? In the creative process, it comprises several stages. Generating is a really important one. In our lesson, the students have to use their imagination to figure out what the owls are communicating, and then they're going to generate their own ideas. That ties into presenting, performing, and sharing, because they will have to share their ideas. They're going to be presenting their ideas both in a discussion and also for their when they compose their pitch lines. And then we will be performing them together. Exploring and experimenting is incredibly important. That's where they really develop their understanding. And it helps them to create their own meanings instead of me telling them what they're going to learn. So in this particular lesson, I try to guide them through experimenting and exploring things on their own, pitch on their own, developing their own ideas. Ready? Nice deep breath. Shoulders back, head high. Ready? How are we going to do this? All right, very good job, guys. Have a seat. Excellent work on those compositions. I think for me, the thing that gives me the most energy or inspiration in teaching is seeing how the kids progress from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. It's incredible. I keep portfolio of student work, and especially now that report cards are done and it's the end of the year, to see what they've come in with and what they're going out with is incredible. And the people that they become is just, it's fantastic, you know.